guys.
Hey, Alan. Hey, Bijan.
Hey, Michael. Long time no speak.
It has been a few weeks. Alan, how are you doing? I keep seeing you all over my LinkedIn feed.
Sorry about that.
No, it's a good thing. It's a good thing. Means you're busy and hopefully things are going well.
Yeah, no, it's doing some fun work with Untever. I'm trying to get them more involved with the OCP stuff as well. So
Cheers. That's fantastic.
actually that's um what's the guy's name? Intel DCMHS lead.
Casper
Brian
Wojtek.
Aspens. Brian Aspens.
Brian.
Oh, yeah. Brian Aspers. Yeah. Casper's DCSCM, DCMHS is Brian. Yeah. Sorry.
Right. He told me to touch, I think he said Michael, so I assumed it was you, with regards to potentially me signing CLAs to join. I'm thinking the DCMHS and the DCSCM.
Yeah.
Close.
I would be the right guy. Alan, what I'll do is I can set that up for you. I just need Brian's official blessing as far as that goes. So what all you can do is I can set up an email thread with the three of us, and Brian confirms. I'll hand that over to you to sign and be right as rain.
Yeah. He was saying that it's not an automatic let anyone in. You said you have to present and you have to have reason.
Yep.
But
yep.
basically,
So
the bottom line is I'm trying to use DCMHS with my current company.
Perfect.
And we're looking to modify it with what we're discussing in OCP HPC. And so it feels like it would make sense to actually be a little bit closer to what's going on.
Yeah, for sure.
Updates.
Actually, I'm glad that you mentioned that. Sorry, I was under the assumption that you guys had already had that meeting. That would be the first step. Then would be to get that presentation sorted with Brian and the other folks, so that the people who are on the CLA can make that decision if they want to make the addition, and then we can move forward with paperwork.
So I would present to them the reason why I want to come in before the CLA is signed.
Correct. Otherwise, we'd be voiding that CLA afterwards. If it was a non-starter. Yeah. So yeah, just do the steps in order there. But
the same for the DCSCM on the system management side of things and security. That's a big and complicated beast. And so to understand a little bit more about the DCSCM world, I think it would make sense to do that one as well. So he said there's separate CLAs for.
Yep. Yeah. And I don't know if you know Casper with Intel. Casper Wojtek is leading up the DCSCM group. That group is different. They don't mandate a presentation, but you still need approval from Casper in order to get you added to that. So if you don't know Casper, I'd be happy to set up an email intro, and you guys can get the ball rolling from there.
All right, that'd be good. That's my two.
I'll send that over today, actually.
Thanks.
Let me add that to my notes so I don't forget.
If I could see the CLAs, so I can see what we're signing up to, and I can let my company know, because they might not be happy if I remember the pain that it took me to get to sign it. Yeah,
cheers. I totally understand that. I can share that with you today. It's just our default CLA. It's on the OCP website, but then the wording for DCSCM, it's DCSCM 3.0, and then the MHS, it's a little bit different wording. So I'll share those with you so you can get that reviewed.
Right. If I remember, a bit tongue in cheek, but if I remember back in the Molex days, I was told by their lawyers that these CLAs are written that Intel keeps all their secrets and you're giving all of your secrets to Intel.
Not sure if I would agree with that perception, but yeah, we can definitely have a conversation.
Yeah. So anyway, but I mean that's not my bailiwick. I don't.
That was the standard for Qualcomm and Motorola forever.
Right. So anyway, that's I don't care. I give all my stuff away for free and let everybody copy it if they want.
Hey guys, sorry I was a few minutes late, having some technical difficulties.
Hey John, not a problem, sir. Thanks for being on.
Was it like mine, chewing food?
No, I was trying to call off my phone and Outlook decided it wanted to update the app. before it would reopen again.
I have been there. It's actually
And to go
earlier
tell it,
today.
yes, it's okay to use cellular to download the app. You don't need to
Oh my
wait till I
gosh.
get back on Wi-Fi.
That's good. Yeah. So are you traveling today, John? If you're mobile?
Nope, I'm actually back at my cube, but I was running a few minutes late back from lunch or from my doctor's appointment and lunch.
Gotcha. Well, looks like it may just be a few of us kids today.
Yeah, the attendance hasn't been too much, but I mean, we're kind of into a static pattern of given the updates every month, so we don't need all the project leads on this call because they're just giving an update every month. So there's no need to have everybody on this call unless there's something we need to talk about.
And you just had the MHS call today too.
Yep.
So a lot of those updates are already had.
Yeah, and John, speaking of, I really think that you found a nice pattern over the last several months. It really seems to be working. So kudos to you for establishing that framework.
For the SCM and in specific, or what do you mean? Which specifically you're talking about?
Just all the different work streams coming in to give their updates. It seems to be working well.
Yeah. Well, that's not the last few months. It's been the same thing for the last couple of years. So I was trying to think of something that changed.
I guess what's changed is I've been listening to more recordings than I was able to do in probably the year prior.
No, I will
Yeah,
say
I don't-
one thing is different. I went back to listen to some old recordings because I was trying to figure out like why some things happened, and used to be a lot of CMAC talking, and you don't get that as much anymore.
No, yeah. Well, CMAC was the co-lead for a couple of years, and yeah, he when he's on a call, everyone knows he's on a call.
I guess he was with Microsoft and then he moved to Google.
Yep.
And now he's on his own, I think, isn't he?
No, he's at
Right.
Samsung.
Yeah, he's
now.
over at Samsung now. Yeah.
All right, okay.
Yep. So in terms of just OCP housekeeping, since Bijan and I are both on, and you guys both have seen, we've started some reviews. John, I know you're not planning on being able to travel to the event. Alan, are you going to be able to join us in Dublin?
Yep, I'm there. I put a paper in for another little update from my group,
Saw it.
an
Yep.
abstract. So yeah, I plan to be there. In fact, I got to book my flights. So I was hoping we'd get the usual free entry.
Oh yeah, no. Well, you already get that as a project leader, and if your submission's approved, of course, there's another pass, so you can just have 2 badges around your neck.
Right. Again.
I don't think I harped this much with you guys. But for the other projects, I really kind of reminded them that if they, wanted to have in-person workshops to help do some of the work, that, OCP would be willing to kind of help with the logistics and get them, get it all organized or whatever that they need. So we have, I mean, a very kind of the singular definition of that we're working from on-site workshops are less about static presentations and more about kind of collaborative sessions and work and stuff like that. But that's I think we talked about this, John. I may have mentioned it on your call, Alan, a long time ago, but with the server group in general, you guys have so much going on. I just tend to forget to mention these things to you guys.
Yeah. Well, and the main server project doesn't have a lot going on, so we don't have workshops of our own, but all the sub projects definitely do. So we need to talk to all the sub projects, not to the main project for server.
Exactly.
So as you guys hear that, and as the 3 of us, myself, Bijan, and Rob, you continue to socialize this. One thing to just keep mentioning is I do have a small community budget now in terms of helping funding for these in-person workshops. So yeah, we'd still obviously ask for sponsors, but we can kind of close the gaps in terms of maybe food and beverage for an in-person workshop that we weren't able to do in the past. So keep that in mind as well if it does come up on any of your meetings.
Well, I guess
Yeah.
on you mentioning all that, with the Open Systems for AI Strategic Initiative white paper and the sort of general discussion around we need to bring sort of everything under the DCMHS umbrella sort of thing, and maybe suck in the OAI, which is obviously dormant now, as well as maybe the others. And so with some of the sort of ideas that I'm trying to do, whether an entire server group workshop of how to put all this together with the Open Systems for AI initiative is a worthy workshop.
I mean, anytime you have just generally speaking, anytime you have a goal and you have an obstacle, and this is one way to solve it, I would say, yeah, go for it. But when it comes to the open systems for AI, it's very broad, and you'd have to be very, focused on what specifically you want to solve for.
Yeah.
Else they'd kind of, meander and go all around in
Well,
circles.
so CMS does workshops, right? Meta does workshops
Yeah,
once or twice a
absolutely.
year.
Yeah.
And there's, to be honest, CMS is quite a wandering topic as well. It's quite a.
Oh yeah, no, you're 100% right, and that's why I said that, because I'm always working with Reddy's pretty good at Manoj is very amenable to a lot of different things, so I'm always having to kind of go back and forth and like, let's clarify this, let's narrow this.
Yeah. I mean, so they've been. I mean, in terms of their overall progress, I think they build. I think those meetups build a little bit of community. So.
Well, that's a good example, Alan. Like last year they had one, I think it was in March, I believe, end of March. And there was good work that came out of it that some of it became contributions, and some of it spawned new work streams. So there was definitely a boost for them for having that on-site workshop, and they do plan on having it again this year.
Yes, yeah, I know. Yeah, I've just put my name down for it, actually. Yeah, so I guess a workshop of the order I'm sort of talking would probably be better to be US based in. I mean, we could do it in the regional one and start to pull some more Europeans into the server projects.
Yeah, Rob's thinking if we go to Dublin, then there's really one good place to have a meetup.
Yeah. Go on then. Where's that?
Well, we could head on down to the Guinness Brewery and we could have a
There
meetup.
you go. That works. The Six Nations rugby will have finished by then, so.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, so I don't know. I guess I don't know. I mean, I'm just selfishly looking at it from my perspective. I know workshop sounds like a good idea, but like you say, there's a lot of pieces to it, but it's I'm trying to do something.
Yeah, so the CMS guys, when we discussed it, they first worked out like where, right? So they figured out like, okay, Meta can host it. There was two offers on the table, Intel and Meta, and so it looks like it's going to be Meta. And so they've been picking days. So you've got the logistics of where and when. And once you get that, then it's like, okay, let's figure out what the actual agenda is, and boom, you're ready to go schedule it.
Yeah. Yeah, so obviously, well, you Bijan know what I'm doing. I guess I did give an update on the last server call, so in theory, everybody knows what I'm doing. Yes, it's I'm trying to bring this little idea of a bring up accelerator, in a deployable bring up platform for all these new chips that come out from all these various startups. And could we do this, and could this be an extension to the DCMHS format? And there's a ton of things that pop up. System management, that's why on the security side, DCSCM. There's a lot of moving bits, and even simple things like getting open open 3D models of the chassis to begin with, just to get it started. But I'm looking at it selfishly from a project that I'm doing with a company I'm working for. So yeah. So I'm trying. I'm a customer of OCP, trying to do something for real, is what I'm saying. So it should be quite a nice use case of a customer pull, rather than, I guess, Meta being the big customer in the room that everyone's bowing to. They must comply to OCP if they want to sell to Meta. And mine's more of a smaller company pulling, saying we want to leverage OCP as much as possible, but we also want to make some changes and feed those changes back in. So I'm not sure how many of those examples you've had, guys.
Get them all the time, actually. Yeah, no, it happens often. Lots of companies don't know about OCP, join OCP, sit through calls and say, "Oh yeah, we have something for that."
Okay. So I mean, I guess, is the use case there? You just go to the marketplace and buy what people have got, or do you participate and tweak things to, as your use case slightly differs from what's there, and contribute it back?
That's the power of OCP. That's when you're using it for this maximum benefit, right?
Okay, so I guess if it's working, then maybe I need to. If that's already happening in many places, maybe I need a bit of education on how I can play that game a bit better.
Yeah, I mean, I can talk to you a little bit about it. I was listening to your comments on MHS, and I didn't speak out loud. I didn't want to take the team on a detour, but yeah, I've got some ideas about what you were looking for.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, it's just trying to leverage it where we can. So hopefully, I mean, on the basis, like Brian did say, he can give me the name of a chassis manufacturer who I'm presuming can provide me with some models. But again, it would be nice if all this was all under OCP in the like an open source, go and click and pick up models of everything, and buy bits from everybody. But
yeah, MHS is a special case, but yeah, I hear you. I mean, we had the same thing, Grand Teton with Meta. Grand Teton was contributed to OCP, and now somebody's trying to consume it, and there's like some data collection steps that need to, kind of finish for them to be able to do what they need to do. So it was like 90 something percent was in the design package, but there were some pieces missing. And
yeah,
I'm
I think that's it. That's
Yeah.
when you come to use these things, and that's the reality of what you see, what you need, and you see what's missing, and then it's a case of, can you pry it out of the people that create
Right. Yeah. There's a part number for a mechanical piece they designed, but they didn't publish the 3D CAD for the mechanical piece. There's all kinds of little examples like that.
They're missing bits
the
and
other pieces you really need to implement it.
Right. You need the magic of the original people that did it to fill the gaps.
Yeah, which some companies are more than willing to provide, and others are like, "Oh, we've moved on. There's nobody to service that."
Exactly, and that's what becomes a challenge, right?
Yeah. Yeah, I'm looking through the minutes. I mean, I don't have any requests for presentations for next Wednesday. So unless something comes up, it'll just be the sub-project updates, which can take an hour easily by itself.
That is true. So a couple of updates from the OCP world that might be beneficial, maybe just to share with the community if you don't have agenda items, John. One, and I'll post a link to this in the chat, but one notable one is we are formally moving ahead with the 2025 OCP APAC Summit. I don't know if you've spoken about that on your project call yet. It's kind of a new thing now that everything is solidified, but we're very excited. It's going to be in Taipei City, Taiwan, on August 5th and 6th. Having a full list there. Got about 30 companies, I think, that are sponsoring so far, focused on the APAC market. So pretty interesting, I think, for maybe your crowd. Lots of things to do with server out there, as a lot of that manufacturing does happen in that neck of the woods.
Is that going to be in English or will that be in Mandarin or something?
So we are hoping that it'll be accessible to folks from a few different countries in APAC. You know, we're hoping to have customers and vendors come down from Japan, folks join us from Korea as well. So the goal is to do as much in English as possible. Still somewhat the language of business in a lot of parts of the world, but I believe we will also have a few talks that are in Mandarin as well. However, for keynotes and exec sessions, we'll have instantaneous translation available from Mandarin into English and vice versa.
Yeah, that's the way China Day is handled. It's
Works very well.
Yeah, China Day, they have the real-time translations. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, this will be the first time that we're offering it at a OCP event. We had it the last couple of years in Korea, but that was co-hosted with Open Info. So yeah, this is going to be new for us.
I presume that's AI-driven translation, yeah.
You would think so. Actually, there's some very talented people in the back of the room in a soundproof booth who hear it in one ear and speak it out the other, and that's what you're hearing.
I was wondering if that was a AI or flesh and blood there.
Still flesh and blood. I'm sure there's ways to do it with AI. I'm sure it would be cheaper. It's not. It's not very cost effective. It's pretty expensive to do it with real people, but I think that's what we have booked for right now.
Yeah. Well, and do they offer like headsets with the different languages, or how do you?
That's exactly how it works. Yeah. So there's a headset at every seat. You turn to channel 2, for English whenever there's a Mandarin speaker, and then vice versa. If you want to hear it in Mandarin, there's an English speaker.
The UN should have got a patent on that.
They really should have.
Could have made a lot of money.
And actually, I'd like to strike that statement from the record. I don't think it's appropriate and in my line of work to be talking about that. I think I'm going to advocate for a Creative Commons open source license on that technology, Bijan. So if you guys wouldn't mind, just
up, right?
I guess
I suppose so.
Yeah, I guess the intention of what I'm saying doesn't come across in that video, I suppose.
I love it. That's great. Fantastic. Anything else that we need to chat about? Anything that you, Greg, John, Alan, and anything you guys need from us?
Don't think so, not for me.
No,
Right.
I mean, I definitely have it on my list to review the submissions. I haven't had a chance to do that yet.
I think you guys will need to pick a local person, right, to kind of be on site.
Yep. I'm going through the list of reviewers, and I have a short list of folks that I think may be on site that I was hoping to ask. Alan, you were actually one of the folks I was hoping to ask, but I know you might be pulling a few different directions. So my hope for system management is that we'll have some coverage from a few different groups, and we can just do a timeshare. But if we can get a person for the full day, that's obviously preferred.
Sorry, I missed that, Michael. What was that for?
Oh, just talking about on-site moderators for the track chairs on site.
Oh, right, okay.
But bear in mind that you guys don't, you aren't in this alone. You've also got, folks from, hardware management and a few other projects as well. So I'm confident we'll be able to find coverage. But
that's just like the time checks and all the rest, and introducing the speakers, etc., right?
Correct. Yeah, and I know in years past, you tended to kind of be pulling a few different directions during the day, so I didn't want to plug you in.
Yeah, I'm not on the experience booth. I'm literally just presenting, so I don't mind helping out as long as it's not sort of full on, because I will be talking to a lot of people. But
yeah, if you don't mind, Alan, then I might pencil you in for coverage for an hour or so as I try and piece together.
Sure, no, that'll be fine.
Pull me around. Perfect. Thanks. Appreciate that. Well, gents, with that, I think we can probably I'll take a little bit of time back in our day. I know I'm grateful for it. Hopefully you guys can make good use of it as well.
All right. Well, if you guys need anything, like Michael said, just reach out. We're here to help.
All right, thanks, guys.
Sounds good. Good
Thanks,
to talk to
everybody.
everyone.
Thanks for
And
everything.
John, apologies for preemptively just ending your call here. that was not
No,
my place to do. Sorry
Nope,
about
I
that.
think we discussed everything we need to discuss.
All right,
Yeah.
gentlemen.
You
Well,
know, originally this
thanks a
call
bunch.
was just to talk about the agenda, but we've always got a lot more to talk about than the agenda these days. So
Yeah, that's true.
Fair enough. Well, hey, John, stay warm. I know you're in the path of this cold front, right?
Yep.
Um,
it's in the 20s now. It'll be low teens tonight,
what
which
a
for Texas
strange
is really
deal.
cold.
Yeah, my son down at Texas A&M was really, really complaining. He was walking between classes and he was like, "Where am I? This is supposed to be the deep south."
Yeah. I was at a doctor's appointment an hour ago and walking out, there's a guy in shorts walking to his car.
Oh my goodness, that's
Like,
crazy.
25 degrees out there in shorts.
Now that probably could have been my son too, because that's how they dressed out in college. But
I think he
That's
may have just
great.
not paid attention to, didn't get the memo of what the temperature was.
holy crap!
That's so funny. All
Miserable.
right, guys.
All
Talk
right,
later.
see you guys.
Bye.
Bye.
All right. Bye.